We really have something for everybody, and then things that people never even imagined that you could have at an airport. My name is Manuel Trevino. I serve as the Vice President of Culinary Operations for OTG. So I started my career here in New York City in 1998, working at Le Cirque 2000, that iteration. I subsequently went to go work for Babbo under Mario Batali. Spent some time at Be Our Guest, Steve Hansen's company, and worked with Tao Group as well. So I was looking for my next opportunity, and in the interview process, ended up with OTG, and was really enlightened and excited about the opportunities that presented themselves for OTG. Rewriting the landscape of what culinary is inside of an airport, kind of changing the fabric of what travelers experience, is kind of the same movement as now you find all these cool restaurants and food concessions at ballparks and such, right? So back in the day where you could get a hot dog or a hamburger, kind of was the same thing in an airport. And now we're offering full meals. Things are being made from scratch. We really have something for everybody, and then things that people never even imagined that you could have at an airport.
So this is quite an oven you got here, or a grill. Tell us about it. There's a lot of wood in there.
So this is a custom-made round grill. It is lined with fire bricks, 100% fire, the element, right? That's where we get our BTUs from. So we're burning oak today. It takes about 2 hours to get this grill nice and hot. So we started this early this morning. We're just at about the time now where all the wood has come down to embers, and we're ready to cook on it. So cooking's always been a passion. I guess it really goes back to eating. Eating is where the passion starts. And I think, so I grew up in a small town in South Texas where Mexican food was king, and anything kind of outside of Mexican food was very difficult to find. So to get into situations like that, if I wanted to get a good lasagna, for example, I had to make it myself. So I started cooking really young when I was about 7 years old. I think New York was just the biggest challenge on life for me, right? Like, to be able to make it here, you can make it anywhere. So it was really exciting for me to have an opportunity to come to New York, and it's just been really magnetic, right? So I haven't been able to leave yet. I think I'm a kitchen junkie. It's hard for me to get out of that environment. I love being in the kitchen. I love working with the people. So I guess you could say I have a very hands-on style. I come into these airports with these chefs and work with them hand in hand, whether we're opening a new location, doing a menu change, or just better ways to do things that they're already doing, simpler, faster, more efficient.
We have different cuts going on.
Yeah, so I got a couple of different cuts.
Okay.
Some beautiful pork chops here. These are heritage pork chops that we serve here. Always want to make sure you heavily season aggressively, right? To make sure that salt penetrates. Also great to season these things ahead of time. So we'll start with those pork chops.
Okay.
So really, really, really hot grill here. Would say this thing's at about 700 degrees right now.
Being a chef at an airport is different than being in a restaurant, what we call street side. There's lots of variables, right? First off, you have to deal with the security that happens in an airport, right? So there's certain things that we can use. All our knives are tethered, for example. So every knife that we use has a big old chain on it, right? Not a chain, but a wire. That's bolted down, so for safety, right? So those knives don't disappear. To work in an airport, I think you really need to be a self-starter. You need to be a planner. You need to be good with numbers. And I really think that you need to understand the people factor, right? People are stressed when they come to an airport. They're not necessarily coming to your dining room like you would at a normal restaurant to expect, an anniversary meal or a birthday celebration or a business gathering, right? The goal is different when you're in an airport, and the stress level is high. And so really having a little bit of empathy and understanding what the traveler goes through, to be able to make their day brighter, make their day easier. But that's why we're here. We're in the hospitality business after all. We just want to extend that hospitality to the airport. I think the trends now, at least what we see in airports and travel, is simplicity is king, right? I think people want to eat something that's familiar, that's comforting. So I think it's really having everything that somebody might want available to them in one way, shape, or form within the airport. I think is very exciting. So, you can come to the airport and have choices, right? And decide whether you want to have a steak or you just want to get a burger or you just want to have a fish sandwich, right? So being able to offer a guest things that they expect and then things that they didn't even know that they wanted, right? I think is really cool about this industry. And that's kind of what we're trying to deliver to them now.
And is that basically what you're doing? You're eyeballing it, looking at the color or the texture, and
Yeah, I think when you cook, the products that you cook, meat, chicken, fish, they talk to you, right? And they're the ones that tell you when they're ready. So really paying attention to what you're doing and what you're cooking. And obviously there's experience involved, right? I've been cooking these things for 4 years. So I would say for those in this industry, I think that airports is a new avenue to consider for a career. We employ people all the time and at various levels, and I think people don't look into airports as kind of a common place to look for a job, right? So always be on the lookout for something in your area that might change or be up and coming or different, right, than what the standard restaurant is. It's a good way to learn. It's also a good way to get into management and be able to lead a big team of some really great people.